Closing is a different skill than presenting. What do you think I mean by that? This is a room full of agents, right? You notice the energy in the room is like, oh, fuck, I've been doing that whole time, man. I'm doing this wrong, shit. You know what closing is? You know the analogy I like to give? It's taking off all your clothes and being like, so what it is. We doing this or not? There's a book, it says, knock and the door shall what? Open. Ask and you shall what? It requires you to do what? Ask. So it seems like we're in agreement with regards to strategy and approach, right, in terms of how to position the property. So do you have any other questions or concerns for me before we take care of the appropriate paperwork?
Yes, so because of the price, I'm listing lower than expected. I just met with an agent who said that he can list at 630 and get me, and he's also lowering his commission.
Okay, awesome. And I appreciate you, bringing those things up to me.
I'm concerned because the next property I'm buying, I'm really gonna need to make as much money to.
Yeah, and I totally respect that. And I appreciate your straightforwardness, right? Like if we're going to enter into some sort of agreement with each other, it's got to be based on trust. And part of that trust is being able to have open conversations with one another. So I guess here's my question to you. Having looked at the information together as a team, because trust me, I would like it to be more as well. Knowing that those other two sold at, 600-ish, and they had modifications that we do not. I mean, honestly, how do you think it would serve you and benefit you to list it at 630 when you need to be out to Arizona in 120 days? Does that seem like a realistic expectation? No. Now, you do want an agent that's going to have the intestinal fortitude to earn your business with integrity, telling you the truth up front, don't you?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You know what the good news is? You found what you're looking for. So here's my question is, if we can come to an agreement in terms of the professional fee today, because I'm open to having a conversation, and I know we'll be able to work that out. Like I'm interested in win-win dynamics. I want us both to feel good about what we're doing. Otherwise, we won't do it. If we could agree on that today, would there be any other reason why we couldn't proceed right now?
No.
What's happening here? Most of you guys verbally vomit when she mentions commission. I'll do it for 4. Ah!
Yeah, you're still not talking numbers.
And I isolated both of the objections. One was price, and I leveled with you. I'm like, does that seem like a realistic expectation? No. You do want an agent that's like going to be honest with you, don't you? Yes, that other agent just is out. I just took like a fucking sniper gun. Done. Now, most of you guys jump into the commission. What's the problem with answering an objection right away? One might be right behind it. You haven't figured out if what I want it all to get on the table. Again, closings, this is what it is. We're doing this or not. So I want it all to get out. So what I did is I did what's called a set aside. So imagine like there's a boulder between me and you, like this impediment. So I'm like, if I grab this, I put it over here and I'm like, you see that thing over there? If we could deal with that over there, can we do this? And you're like, look at she's just like, yes, we can do this, right? So we can do this. That's what I'm doing. I isolated the objection and I set it aside. And then you're like, yeah, I don't think so. Now I say to you, great, what were you thinking? Why do I say that to her? We're negotiating. And who do I want to speak first? Her. So you just have to have like the discipline to follow this process. It's like a checklist, like a pilot's checklist. You fuck it up, it'll get messed up. You'll verbally vomit, you'll tell her, and she'll be like, well, I'm gonna think about it, I'm gonna talk to the other agent, leave. And then you'll get in your car, you're like, I really think we connected. I think I'm gonna get it, guys. And then I call you, hey, I just wanna give you a quick heads up, let you know she decided to list with us. We appreciate the opportunity though, and be sure to bring us the first buyer if you got one. Bye-bye now. Right? So that's why, because we're negotiating. So I want you to tell first. So let's say she tells me like 5%. Cool. That's an option. Remember, that's an option. Somebody says 5%, you guys get indignant. Like, how dare you even ask? You guys will look on Amazon for 3 fucking hours to save $5 on a product. But you freak the fuck out when somebody asks you to lower 1 percentage point, which is $10,000. Everything that I just told you, the scripts, the dialogues, everything, there's a class online, it's $250. You guys are like, oh, it's too expensive. Look, the way you make decisions, if you can't make a decision when you have ample information over relatively small amounts of money, how do you imagine you can expect other people to make big decisions with you about big amounts of money? She's like, 5%. Yeah, that's an option. And what's interesting for me is I never want to put you in a situation that actually wasn't beneficial to you as a homeowner. Can I explain to you what I mean?
Yes.
Who's that about, by the way? Who do you guys make it about? You. Me. Well, I got bills to pay. I got a new baby. I got diapers and shit, bro. Right? That's what happens. You go in your head. So instead, it's like, yeah, can I share with you, like, I never want to put you in a situation that wasn't beneficial to you as a homeowner. Can I explain to you what I mean? And they're like, well, yeah. Well, it's like, agents don't control people buy, but they definitely have influence over what they see. let's say that there's like right now, I did some homework in preparation for our appointment, and there's 25 other properties here in Deerfield that are in your price point between 600 and 700,000. Did you know that? Yeah. And in the last 30 days, do you know how many of those sold? 8. So what that means is there was, 17 of them that are still there unsold. And we don't want to be in that position, do we? No. And let's say of those 25 that are available for sale, 20 of them are offering out what's customary in terms of a co-broke. So like 2.5%, maybe 3%. And the rest are offering out some sort of discount, right? 2%, 1%. So let's imagine that you're a full-time commission-based salesperson and you have an opportunity to show properties. Remember, agents don't control people buy, but they do have influence over what they see. Honestly, as an agent, which properties do you think you'd be more excited about showing and selling?
The ones with a full commission.
And why is that?
Because I'm going to take home more money.
That's exactly right. It's just human nature, isn't it? Yeah. So just by you saying that demonstrates that you're beginning to realize that the professional fee is a marketing tool that we use to help you to get top dollar. So the commission on our end to help you with the sale is 3%. Now, what we're just talking about is what we're going to offer out in terms of a co-broke to another agent. And we have a couple options at our disposal. Whatever you decide, I'll support you. Fair enough? Yeah. So the first option is we offer out something less than what's customary. So something less than like 2.5%, right? So maybe like 2%, 2.25%. And in doing so, we just need to know and understand it could end up affecting showings in some way, right? And I know you said you want to maximize value and do it quickly and efficiently, so that's something to consider. The second option is we offer out what's customary, maybe 2.5%, 3%. And in doing that, we dramatically widen the exposure, and that'll increase the probability we'll get you an offer in the time frame that you want and net you the most. Either one's okay. Based on what you're looking to accomplish and why, what do you think we should do?
5%.
So wait. So what are we going to offer out as a co-broke? So it's 3% on the listing side. So what are we going to offer out as a co-broke?
2.5.
2.5, you're cool with that? Great, I'm cool with that too. Do you have any other questions before we take care of the appropriate paperwork?
Nope.
What if you bring the buyer?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So if we bring the buyer, what we can do is, I guess, what were you thinking? So the total's 5.5. So if we bring the buyer, like, what were you thinking? Because remember, we're going to be handling both sides of the transaction.
4.5?
I normally wouldn't do that. Like, I appreciate where you're coming from. And as a way for me to demonstrate that I'm equally committed to you as you are to me, we can go ahead and do that. Fair enough?
Fair. Thank you.
Why did I say it? Well, first of all, when I go like, if I would have said, yes, really quick, what does she think? Could ask for more.
Yeah.
I'm going to make her feel better by going, I normally wouldn't do that. Not only that, what's the probability that I'm going to bring the buyer? Fucking 0. You guys get all hung up on that. Was I hung up on that at all? No. So what did you notice about that? Yes. But what did you notice about that as I ran through that? What is your awareness?
You negotiated with her without her realizing that you were negotiating with her.
That's right. And who felt in control?
She did.
But who was really in control? These are not the drones you're looking for. Go ahead.
What did she say? Okay, but could you lower your commission? Exactly.
Yeah, and I appreciate you asking that. I really do. And what's interesting for me is that, part of the reason why you're hiring an agent is because of their skills in negotiating. Because they're going to be having conversations about your price without you present. Yeah, so the other agent, when they said that they would do it for less, how long were they in your house before they said that they would do that?
Oh, they knocked on my door and told me.
Oh, like right away? Wow, so like in 10 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So how are you going to feel knowing that you hired an agent based on their skills in negotiating, and they demonstrate right in front of you, Rose, their inability to protect the value of their own fee?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, most people don't. You see, 1% is only 1% out of 100%. 1% is 6% is 17%. Would you lower your price by 17% just to sell the property?
No.
Of course not. I mean, you have a first-class home, don't you?
Yes.
You don't want to sell in a second-class manner.
No.
And you want an agent that's going to fight for you tooth and nail to get you every penny possible, don't you?
Yes.
You know what the great news is?
You're the agent.
You found what you're looking for. Let's go ahead and get started. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I would handle that. Yes.
Aaron, I've listened to your presentation. It's very impressive. You know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
I wanted to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But let me be honest with you.
Sure. I appreciate honesty.
My sister is a real estate agent.
Okay.
And I promised her 99% I'm going to list with her.
Okay.
Because she's my sister.
Mm-hmm. Which I totally appreciate. And I guess I'm curious. It sounds like, based on what you've been kind enough to share with me, 2 things are happening. One, and I appreciate your kind words, by the way. It sounds like you're beginning to see why people like you hire me all the time for the job. It seems like you feel comfortable and confident with me that I can help you. Is that accurate?
It doesn't get me over this problem I've got with my sister.
I'm very clear on that. So would you be opposed to a win-win proposition in which your sister can participate in the sale and also you get the service and results that you deserve?
So you're saying we give her a referral fee? Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, so we've helped a lot of families in these dynamics where
She's not going to like that.
I understand.
Go for my throat if I...
Yeah, and I don't want to get between you and your sister. So I think what's true is you just have a decision that you need to make. I guess I'm wondering previously, how did you pick the previous agent?
It was my sister.
And I really do appreciate your honesty and straightforwardness. So I guess my question to you is, and again, I mean this lovingly, right? I really do.
I don't think we're on a love relationship here, but if you want to use that.
Yeah, well, what I mean is I mean it with the intention of understanding relationship dynamics, because I have a sister and siblings and things of that nature. You know, there is a saying in our culture about mixing business with family, and there's usually a particular reason why. And I guess for you is, which is more important for you at this stage in your life and with this move? Because you were kind enough to share with me that you really need to get out to Arizona. Is that correct? Yeah. And what would happen on the outside chance if 6 months went by again and it didn't sell?
Well, I kind of feel like I'm going to lower the price enough with her
to
make this happen.
Yeah, which I appreciate. And what happens on the outside chance that that doesn't work? What would that mean for you and your family?
Well, I wouldn't have a fight with my sister, for one thing.
Sure. And how would that affect your life in terms of the move?
Well, if it's a 1 in 10 chance that it doesn't get sold, I'm willing to roll the dice on that.
I appreciate that. And I guess I'm wondering, because you were on the market for 6 months and the marketplace changed dramatically in that 6 months, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And the cost of money doubled.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. If you would have sold it 6 months ago, do you think you would have got more money?
Yes.
Are you okay with losing money?
Sometimes it happens.
I get that. And I guess my question to you is, and this is only something you can answer, which has more value for you in this instance? Making the move, getting as much as you possibly can, preserving the capital and equity that you have, or preserving a relationship?
Well, maybe we just better go with you.
I think it makes the most sense. But do you see what I'm doing there?
I do.
Right? Just, and right off the bat, I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't want to get between you and your sister. And here's my experience. Shitting on people never works. Ever. Just be in a crowd of people and somebody starts to gossip about somebody else, everybody's like, geez, get the fuck away from this person. Right? It's very difficult, but that's what you guys do. Well, how many homes did your sister sell? Well, it was on the market. I sold this amount. Did I do that? And I was willing to share. You guys don't want to share. You're like, fuck that. No referral fee for you. Right? So I was like, would you be opposed if we could create a win-win proposition? When I say, would you be opposed, it's easy for him to say what? No. He wants to say no, so I'm gonna let him say no. Would you be opposed if we could come up with a win-win proposition? You're like, no, what would that look like? And then I can explain it to him. But then I had to level with him because that would have gone on in a loop. Right? And I caught on like, okay, if it would have sold 6 months ago, he definitely would have made more money. I was like, does that concern you at all that that could happen again? He's like, And I'm like, look, this is only something you can answer, right? And I'm coming from a place of understanding the predicament that you're in and trying to preserve that relationship, and yet at the same time, concern for finances and actually making the move. Which one has more value for you this time around? To preserve that relationship or to actually get it sold? And that's what brought him to that conclusion. But that's taking all the clothes off. What are we doing? That's that question. It's right down the pipe because that's the actual crux of the situation, right? Not like, well, we can do more marketing and we can do this and we can do that. That's not it. Awesome. So you're only going to get few common objections. And guys, they're not going to school trying to figure out new objections to give you. They're not sitting in classes like this, sellers. It's the same shit all the time. I want to wait. My sister's an agent. Never heard of your company. How much is your commission? What are you going to do to market the home? Where's your office? It never changes. We just need to take the time to learn the answers. Right? You just got to be prepared to learn. So how many of you guys feel more prepared to go on a listing presentation after this time together? No, that's not acceptable to me. Everybody's hands should be raised.
Why EXP?
That man right there?
I chose Elite Builders because I started coaching with Aaron Novello in 2020.
Aaron Novello being the leader of Elite Builders. It's one of the reasons why I joined.